Hello everybody and welcome back to another Heyday video. Now for today's video, I'm going to kind of be recapping the main points that I took away personally from the Q&A video that was released a couple of weeks ago now. I've made some dot points and some things that I particularly want to bring up with you guys, and I've made a little slideshow which I'm just going to kind of speak to, so let's get on with it. So basically the Q&A was discussing with Camilla and Lavinia what the Heyday team's plans are for the next 2 years, 2025 and 2026. So the main things that they said they wanted to focus on was improving existing features within the game. Did they give us many specifics related to what that means? Not particularly. It could include the town features. I know the town hasn't had, any changes in a long time. It could include fishing area changes. It could include basic farming changes. It could include something related to the derby, the valley, edit mode, in-game friends, things like that. Things that already exist within the game that they're going to be touching up and improving for us as players. So they didn't really go into any specifics about what those are going to be, but they did say that that's going to be their broad area of focus, which I like. I think that's great that they are willing to take a look at things that have been around for a long time that do need some adjusting. There's definitely things that I think could be improved in the game. So hopefully that those things are met. They also mentioned touching up the economy of the game. So that relates to the costs, how much the machines cost, how much the decorations cost, the Maggie prices, also relating to XP progression and leveling up, things like that. And again, I think that is important too. They also talked about issues that players are facing with the demand for dairy products, and what sort of a fix to that will be. Whether that's reducing the time of the products in the dairy. I think that would be the quickest fix. So it could also be related to timing of products and things like that, and also relating to rewards for leveling up. I think particularly for higher level players, they don't really get much when they level up. You get some diamonds and a field every odd level. So having more incentives for the high level players to keep progressing, or if they are going to add new things into the game, targeting it to higher level players, which they said they were going to try and do in the past, but it wasn't really to higher level players, it was more mid-level players. So hopefully if they do add other things, it is, for levels 100 and above. And then they also mentioned mid-2026 they're going to take a look at the social features and maybe add some new things there, new ways to play and interact with different people outside of your neighborhood. So I think that's interesting. Personally, I don't find that to be something essential to me as a player. That's not a priority for me because we already have the neighborhood chats, and because of being able to make content and be a part of the community and interacting with the community on a daily basis. I personally don't see the need for this, and I do think that it can be risky. It can bring up issues if you have, say a global chat for global events. That's a lot of players. That's a lot of players. And that would be a lot to manage and control. And I think it would be harder for them to, filter things or manage things that way if there's, trolls or people being inappropriate or any sort of online bullying, things like that. I think it'd be a lot harder for them to manage. That may be the direction they're taking. It may not be. We don't really know. This is just sort of a rough idea of what they were talking about in terms of the direction the game is going to take over the next 2 years. I do think that some of these things are great, but at the same time, I think they need to find a balance between improving quality of life, but also keeping the game new and fun and exciting and interesting by adding new things to keep us wanting to play, basically. So I think it's important for them to find some sort of balance between those things. There was a lot of questions. Some of the questions I found absolutely pointless. Either we were not given an answer, or it, was not something that really needed an answer to be given for. Like, it wasn't an important question. So based on the questions that were in that video and their responses, I've kind of grouped them So this slide here relates to a whole bunch of different questions where they sort of addressed these things. So these are some things that they said we might be getting. We'll see. We'll look into it. So, nothing's set in stone, no promises. I want to preface that. I don't know anything. I honestly don't really think the Heyday team know 100% what's going on. This was a very vague video. And it just gives us a rough idea. So there's still a lot of questions. It's still very open-ended. So this could all be subject to change, but this is just what I took from the video. Things that we might be getting at some point over the next couple of years. So they talked quite a bit about wanting to add some more pets into the game, such as skunks, possums, raccoons, things like that. Obviously, we've got the birds. The birds are the most recent addition. I think, I'm a bit over the birds, to be perfectly honest, so I would like to see some other animals. I think if they were going to keep adding the birds, we need either a second birdhouse, a bigger birdhouse, something needs to be adjusted there, whether that comes under quality of life, existing features that they're going to address, I don't know. They also mentioned the possibility of having some new derbies. I think that would be a nice change. It's been a while since we've had any updates really related to the derby. So I think some new derbies and possibly new valleys as well would be nice, because it's been, 6 years since we've had the valley and we still only have the sanctuary and the chicken valley. So I think having some more variations can keep things interesting. Obviously fixing quality of life changes, improving existing features within the game. I did do a video a while ago on some quality of life changes I would like to see. I still stand by that. I might link that in the description of this video if you want to check that out as well. They said there's always a possibility for new events. I think they said they were looking into one for this year as well. New features within existing parts of the game. They said there's a possibility of that being a new feature or a new mechanic or a building or something, say in the town or in the fishing area, which I would like to see personally. I think those two areas have been neglected a lot over the past few years. I think they could definitely use some love, so I personally would really like to see that. The movie tickets are supposed to be updated every 3 months. They literally admitted in the video that they forgot the last time, so they will update seasonally, kind of in line with when we have the updates, basically. And the decorations are supposed to reflect what season we're in. They did also mention, obviously they mentioned night mode, which was a hard no. But they did mention the possibility of sort of choosing which season your game could be in, because I don't know about you guys, but for me, as someone who lives in the southern hemisphere, our seasons are opposite to the northern hemisphere, and obviously Heyday goes by northern hemisphere because that's where they're located, in Finland, in Helsinki. So for me personally, that's something I would like to see, because I would like my game to be able to match up to my actual seasons and actual weather. So I think that would be something interesting, like just, the themes within the game, if we could, pick and choose based on our seasons geographically, would be nice. These are some of the things that they basically flat out said are never going to happen. Whether, they gave us quite a long-winded answer, but in other words, the answer's NO for no. So night mode, basically, they said absolutely not. It's never going to happen. And they kind of explained why. Some of the points they made were obviously the mechanics and the graphics and the, visuals and shadows and things like that would take a long time to go through every little thing in the game and add in shadows and add in visuals to make it seem like nighttime, which I understand there's a lot in the game that they would need to do that for. They also mentioned thinking about, like, when it's nighttime, your animals are going to be sleeping, your machines won't be running, your helpers won't be working, and Heyday is a game designed to function when we're not online. So obviously that would be a big change as well, and I'm not sure if people would like that. So they did give us an explanation, which makes a lot of sense to me. So night mode, no. Pausing Tom overnight, similar sort of thing. They kind of said that Tom is designed to function on 2-hour naps. He doesn't need sleep, but a similar sort of thing there. I do think it would be helpful, as I'm not someone who's going to set my alarm every 2 hours overnight while I'm activating Tom. I've got things to do. I need to be up early in the morning. But yeah, they said pretty much no. rotating directions all 4 ways, they said no, because there's no back to the decorations. The decorations you can only see from the front, so if you turn them around, there's going to be nothing there, which, look, I understand that, and they did offer another fix to, you know, the letter and number decorations where they can be red now when you rotate them. They're not, you know, the wrong way around, which I guess is a good compromise there. Picking up townies from other friends, they said no, it would only be for neighbourhoods. The purpose is so you can pick it up from other neighbourhoods. New farm animals like pigs, cows, chicken, sheep, things like that, they said no, at least not in the next 2 years. I'm not even sure what other animal they would add that, you know, would add something different there that you would still see on a farm and would have some sort of function and item for you to collect that would be used to make products. And new expansion areas for anyone hoping for new expansion, not in the next 2 years. It's not in the cards anyway. So I guess all those map pieces that you may be holding on to, don't hold on to them. They flat out said not in the next 2 years. It's not going to be expanded. The town probably won't be expanded. So, you know, you can go and sell all your maps. Don't worry about that. And another important thing. Now, this was actually Ricky's question that featured in the video. And his question was, what are the odds of adjusting the M's limit to match the level ups for each player in games similar to how the helpers? So Rose and Ernest, if you didn't already know, their storage is based on your level. I think it's every 20 or so levels, the storage increases. So you get 20 space. Well, you wouldn't get 20 because they unlock it. What is it? Level 30 something. So you get 40 spaces. Then you get 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, etc. based on your level bracket. So, I think that, you know, if they can't get rid of the limit altogether, and we all know why they introduced it years ago, it's hard to remember a time where we didn't have the limit. We all know why they introduced it. So I think if they can't get rid of it, that this would be a good fix to have. You know, the next best thing basically is to increase the limit based on your level. So if you were level, you know, 115, then you're in the level bracket of 100 to 120. So you'd have 120 spaces to get expansion materials every 24 hours. So they basically said that they've looked into this, they found an issue with it, and they will go back and try again. So fingers crossed. It does sound promising. It does sound like that they are looking into this. So hopefully it's something that we will see happen over the next 2 years as well. Alright, so that's pretty much the key points I wanted to address. Let me know down below your thoughts on this video, on the answers or lack thereof that we got, what you took away from it, what you're looking forward to seeing, what you would like to see that maybe wasn't mentioned, even though it's probably not going to happen. And make sure that you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.